Hello, good afternoon. Today we meet with Bavesh Khetpal, the number 3 winner of evaluation speech at Toastmasters District 87 contest, which was held on the 30th of May 2020. Welcome, Bavesh, to our podcast today. And it has been an honor and pleasure for me to have the opportunity to interview and to talk with you.
Thank you so much for having me. And of course, good afternoon. And the pleasure is all mine to be a part of your interview and to be a part of your podcast. Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, I think it was quite an achievement to be number 3 at the district level contest. And I heard that you just recently joined Toastmaster about 8 months ago. So it's quite an achievement. So maybe if you can share with us about your journey with Toastmaster.
Sure. So yes, like you rightly said, I joined Magical Bali Toastmasters Club in October 2019, which is about 8 months or so ago. And yes, so let me tell you that whatever I have achieved in Magical Bali, a very big hand is thanks to finding good mentors. For me, the two mentors that made the most significant impact were first Natalie, who, thanks to her technical prowess, she got me to her level. I mean, I wouldn't say I'm as good as her. I'm not as good as her yet. But then those tips, those tricks, and those, that technical skill, it helps you to get better faster. Otherwise, you're trying to figure out by yourself how to do it. And by yourself is just not possible unless you have a good teacher. Like, even in a school, in a classroom, you have the textbook, but you can't pass the exam just with your textbook, right? If you want to really want knowledge, then it has to be with a good mentor or a good teacher. So definitely Natalie for all the technicals, and definitely Madam Miranda Rumi, who's a DTM. She was the one who got me acquainted with the entire structure of Toastmasters. How do you do leadership in Toastmasters, everything. So one thing about me is that I really enjoy Toastmasters. And if you ask me to give a speech every meeting happens once in 2 weeks, right? I would happily just go ahead and give a speech every 2 weeks. That's my love and obsession for Toastmasters. And why did I? And if you ask me why did I get so obsessed, is probably because one, it's because of the sincerity behind which the vision of Toastmasters. So I have done a speech, by the way, on the history of Toastmasters. I read about how Mr. Smedley started this whole thing somewhere in 1926. And for me, I just suddenly realized that, wow, somebody has started such a huge international organization just for the sake of helping people get better at leadership, get better at speaking. And for me, it was like a very good thing. So as soon as I heard about Toastmasters, as soon as I saw just 2 meetings. I was a guest for 2 meetings. I saw how things are going on. They're well organized and everything's running well. I was like, I'm up. I'm going to sign in and I'm going to become a member and I'm going to do whatever educational pathway they asked me to follow. I'm going to do it. So for me, it was just quickly became an obsession and it quickly became something I liked doing.
Yeah, I think I see the same thing. Basically, people like to join Toastmaster and they excel in Toastmaster is because of the mentors they have. So this is a very good thing that we could learn a lot faster by having a mentor. And then secondly, I think people like to be like in an environment where people are very friendly and support each other. I think that is the best way for us to grow, for our skill and actually also to grow as a person. So if you could give me the motivation, why do you want to join Toastmaster and what benefit do you get from Toastmaster? I would appreciate it.
Sure. So like I just said, so my boss where I worked, he was the one who introduced me and, one day, so he's been a member since about, let's say, a year before I joined. He was a member since a year. And then one fine day he asked me and he asked, let's say, about 10 other staff at the office, come down to the meeting. And I had no idea what I'm getting into. Absolutely none. I came to the meeting and like, a few minutes passed, and then I was suddenly shocked. I was like, wow, this is something pretty good. And so I came in for another meeting. So like I said, I was guest for 2 meetings. I watched the proceedings and everything ran so smoothly. So it was well organized. Second, some of the speeches that I saw, they were just so good, so well structured. The person standing in front of the crowd had so much confidence. The speech structure was tremendous. Everything was going on very well. So I was like, wait a second, I am not that good for sure. So of course I want to be that good. And that was my the initial thing that just struck a light bulb struck on top of my head. I was like, wait a sec, I need to be this good. And it's about public speaking and leadership. Both of these things I really, really like. And both are the two things that I need to improve in my own life and in my own career. So I was like, I'm signing up, whatever. It doesn't matter. I just asked them, how do you become a member? I'm signing up. I don't have, because I mean, everything about them is good about Toastmasters, not just my club. Everything about Toastmasters, like you just said, a comfortable environment, an environment where everyone is willing to help each other. No one's blame gaming or trying to make the other person look bad. Nothing of that. And the constructive feedback. The feedback aspect is just so good, and once again, just reiterating the fact that, the mentors, the people who are there, the seniors, they are so willing to help anybody who's new, anybody who's like a junior, who's willing to grow. There's always help at Toastmasters if you want it. And that is something that I experienced really well. And that's what made me just sign up, and then bang, bang, bang. I started giving my speeches and started growing, and my confidence started increasing. My speech structures got better. So I'll tell you something, people get into fitness, right? Like fitness is just an example, an analogy. If they don't see the results, right, then you give up. You're like, oh no, it's not working for me. But at Toastmasters, speech after speech after speech, you will see yourself grow. You can see your own video of your own speech, and you will see how better you get. That is something that's very important and something that everyone should practice. Watch yourself grow at Toastmasters, and then you will never look back as to why did I join in.
Yeah. So I think from what I gather, maybe if you can summarize, like, what benefits do you get? Do you, by having or by joining Toastmaster, initially did you intend like to move your career forward, to be able to make a good presentation, or what else? What other benefits do you expect from Toastmaster?
Okay, if I can sum up the benefits first. I always could open my mouth. So opening my mouth and talking was not a problem, but my thoughts were never structured. All right. And my speeches and whatever I said was never structured. With the help of Toastmasters, the first thing I did was to structure my thoughts, structure the speeches that I give, and basically structure the sentences. So I became good at being able to talk, even if it's impromptu. My thoughts are now better formatted, better structured. The second thing that happened was the body language in front of the audience. How to, so I used to be a person who used to keep my hands clasped, and, or I used to keep playing with my ring, or maybe hide my hand behind my back. All those things, then I realized that they weren't right? And you have to be having a nice, welcoming personality. So how do you do that? You keep your hands, the palms facing outside. All those little small tricks Toastmasters taught me. Finally, third, of course, leadership obviously comes with spending a little bit of time in Toastmasters. It doesn't come instantly, but yes, you start to learn the different roles that are there in a Toastmasters clubs are just like a simple organization where there is a president, and then there is a secretary, there is somebody for public relations, etc. So you get to learn all those different facets, and then you can play a part in your club in the respective position. So in that way, you get to learn leadership, you get to learn teamwork, how to work in a team, and you also, basically taking up responsibilities. Another simple thing, if somebody likes event management, then Toastmasters is also a perfect place to do that. Every club meeting is an event by itself. And then once in 2, 3, 4 months, there are other bigger events that keep happening. There could be a TLI, which is nothing but a training session. for the members. There is another competition that happens once every 6 months or so. So every few months, there are these certain events that keep happening. And at Toastmasters, if you show the interest that I want to help in organizing, you can get that chance. So for those interested to event management also, there's plenty of practice to do. And I did a little bit of that as well. So for me, these are some of the few benefits that I got from Toastmasters. And yes, one thing that I always thought was, this was at the back of my mind. It never materialized, but now that I am in Toastmasters, I think it might materialize. I have always thought of maybe I want to become a trainer one day or a consultant one day, something like that in those terms. Now that I am at Toastmasters, I can see my skills grow. And some people actually come to me and say, hey, one day if you decide to become a trainer, you might actually do a good job. And I have never told anybody that that's at the back of my mind. But suddenly now I feel that maybe that career choice could happen as well. So in these ways, I think Toastmasters has been a great benefit to me.
Yeah, so there are so many tremendous benefits by joining Toastmaster. Yeah,
absolutely.
Okay, and also the contest is over. You got number 3 winner for the evaluation speech contest. Maybe if you can share your journey on how you can get to win in the contest, and if you can share also how you feel.
I feel really good, and thank you for congratulating me. I feel really good. Of course, there is always that, 99% feeling happy, 1% you feel sad, damn, I wish I was first or second. But then when I see the others, let's say the person who won, right, position first was the guy called Ricky. Now, Ricky has been trying for the past 5 years and he's finally won, right? So I feel, yes, those people who've been trying since a long time, let them also have let them enjoy the limelight. For me, yes, in 8 months, I've still been able to rank 3rd at the district level. I'm more than happy. And so a lot of hard work has gone into this, a lot of hard work. And I think the days leading up to the competition, I think I have done at least 10 practice evaluations. So I have done 10 times, I have evaluated different speeches. And so again, once again, I don't want to take much credit for this. It's all thanks to my mentor. So Natalie used to find some really good speeches online on YouTube. She used to send them to me. I used to study the speech, try to evaluate, and then, my evaluation was then evaluated by Natalie. So this process has been going on since past a lot of time. And with every evaluation, I could see myself getting better. My analysis skills were getting better. My way of presenting things was getting better, especially at a competition, right? It's not a club level meeting. In a club meeting, you can just say it very simply and effectively. However, in a competition, you also have to be like a little taste. There has to be a little bit of a difference in presentation, right? There has to be a individual taste to it, an individual style to it. So these things have been going on since a bit of time. It takes a lot of practice, to be honest. Doesn't come overnight. Absolutely doesn't come overnight. And it's one thing that one thing that many people have come to me and said that the level of obsession, I would say, or the level of dedication that I showed to the competition to grow is probably one of the reasons that I was able to rank in the top 3 despite being pretty new to Toastmasters. And yes, for sure, I have always been open to, whatever suggestions that people give me. One of the other persons who gave me a few suggestions was Pipit from Surabaya, you know her. So, of course, I have been listening to a lot of suggestions. And then finally, what I used to consult with Natalie, and we used to come up with what strategy I'm going to do. And of course, if I can share this, Natalie has learned a lot from her mentors. So Natalie herself is a mentee for other people. She's a protege for others. So she keeps learning from others. She passes them on to me. I try to hear from different sources. I pass on to Natalie. In that way, there is a lot of information exchange. And finally, we came up with a strategy that we are going to use during the competition. And of course, during the competition, it's very nerve-wracking. You're very nervous in front of that, and especially with online, right? This time it was an online competition. In front of the camera, many people came and told me you were looking absolutely nervous, and I was actually very nervous. I think I'm less nervous on the stage as compared to in front of the camera. So there was complete nervousness, and then it was all about trying to stay in the situation, trying to be as calm as possible, and trying to do a good job. The speech evaluation, as you know, is a very quick game, right? It's hardly 2 to 3 minutes. Anything can go wrong or anything can go right in those 2 to 3 minutes. So it is all about keeping calm, remembering your training, and then delivering on the final day. And I'm thankful and I'm really lucky to be able to win for Bali and to be able to win for Division G, which is my home division.
Yeah, I think I keep hearing basically the same, or I would say the importance of mentor and practice in order to win. Yeah, basically you need to have good mentor to help you to grow and also to keep practicing, because we often hear practice make perfect, and I think that cannot be even more true, than going into the competition, the contest, and win it.
Absolutely.
And if you could give maybe your tips and trick either to new to Toastmaster or even those who are already very long in Toastmaster.
Tips and tricks for speech evaluation competition, you mean?
Yeah, in general, in speech evaluation speech competition, and also in general, what you can give, to the people who maybe on the sideline thinking of joining Toastmaster, or even for those people who already joined Toastmaster.
Sure. So, first of all, if you're already a member of Toastmasters, so you've done a very good decision. Never regret that decision. You are in the best place to learn and to grow. If you're someone who's still contemplating whether I should join Toastmasters or not, please take the decision. Join Toastmasters in the club that is nearest to you. You don't have to pick and select some best club or anything. Just pick any club, join it, and then just be a little sincere about it, and success will come to you. No doubt about that at all. So for me, if I can share one thing, that so Toastmasters for me has been a life-changing journey. All right, it's not like a small journey. It's not like a music class you go to every week and then you learn to play the piano, for example. This is something that can change your life for the good. There is an educational pathway. Since you become a member of Toastmasters, there is an educational pathway, and we all don't like reading. Most of us hate reading. Most of us just want to, let's say, we like visual content. We have more time to watch YouTube videos, but we don't want to read. However, let me tell you that the pathway material has been beautifully designed, beautifully constructed. All the material that the Toastmasters gives you is very, very helpful. So just follow that material and you will get the basics automatically. Find senior members in your club and you just ask them, I want to get better. How do I do it? Trust me, no information is hidden. Nothing is secret in Toastmasters. You want to get, how good do you want to go in Toastmasters? There is absolutely no upper limit, no ceiling. You can be the world champion in speaking if you just follow and do things sincerely, and if you just talk to good people, be in the right company. And Toastmasters is the best company that you can get. Choose a good senior member to learn from and you will absolutely progress. There is absolutely nothing going to stop you from progressing if you keep just trying, keep talking to new people. And Toastmasters is the best place to network, let me tell you. For example, you yourself, Madam Rona, you run a consultancy yourself. You consult people. Where would I find a person of that stature if I go out looking on the street, right? I won't find it anywhere. Then another person in Surabaya Toastmasters, like I know, is Miss Marina. She works for Suravaya TV, whatever, the SBO TV, and she comes live on TV almost every day. So all facets of life, all careers, people will find help in Toastmasters. You know why? Simply because confidence and leadership, teamwork, these are things that you need no matter which career you're in. And of course, you will always find good people at Toastmasters to work with, to grow your own career, as well as to, whatever, to, if you want to collaborate with other people, the best place is here at Toastmasters.
Okay. Thank you very much, Bavesh, for sharing, all of your journey, the benefits, your motivation, and also, the tips and trick, and also your journey to become number 3 winner of evaluation speech. And thank you for taking time and sharing and the opportunity to talk to us, to me, and to the listener of the podcast. Yes.
If I can just add one small last point. If you're a member of Toastmasters and you always think that competitions are not for me, I'm okay however I am, I would say the most advancement or the most progress in my speech skill, in my speaking skill, in my confidence has happened during the competition, more than the club level. All right. During the competition level, the level of seriousness and the level of the situation, it becomes so important and so powerful. It is able to mold you in a way that is absolutely life changing. So trust me, if you're a Toastmaster, please sign up for a competition and please try to do well in competitions. It will change your life forever, and it will change you into a person that you will absolutely admire, with good personality and good confidence.
Okay, thank you very much, Bavesh, and thank you for sharing all with us. Okay, talk to you later.
Thanks so much for having me.
Thank you.